Oh, we are 3 and 2 and 1 and welcome back. This is Option. This is episode 6, and Daddy is home. Hey, thank you for joining me today. As most of you may know, I have the incomparable Troy Field with me, and
what is up?
And I have the second hardest working man in America, Eric Beranek. Because if Jeff Alzina's watching, he's gonna get all his feelings hurt. That dude works hard. So like I said before, it's one of those things where I had Eric on the show. That was a really fun episode. We talked about that little thing on the beach, second chances and stuff like that. And then Troy, back then when I talked to you, there was this fast ascension up to that point, and from that point till now, it's still going. Remember we talked about how like you climbed so fast and you got here and there. From the last time we talked to this, you've been to 2 semifinals. You've been in the finals in New York, which is a gold series, by the way. So it's not like it was like
three semifinals, but that's fine.
Oh, it was what?
3 semifinals, but
3 semifinals. Which was it?
No big deal.
It was Austin. Yeah, Austin.
I had Huntington, Austin,
and
New
Seattle.
York, and not Seattle. I got 5th in Seattle.
Which one did you make finals?
New York.
New York.
The most important one.
Yes. The gold series.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Some people just show up and get points. And you made the final. So guess what? So now, for all of us people, we're going to go the volleyball route first because.
Is that Jeremy Trotty joined?
Yeah.
Shout out Slunky.
Yes.
Saw your name.
Slunky. They're all going to be. Jorge Martinez. They're all there. San Wannabes, Barefoot Juniors. You got a huge fan group. Yeah. So Troy. Number 1 seed a couple of days from now, right? Friday, Eric comes in as the 3 for the qualifier? The 4?
Yeah.
But you're no stranger to that. I mean, Eric qualifying for the main draw is like asking a fucking cow to moo. It's just he's just gonna do it.
You gotta milk that thing though.
Yeah.
It's really gonna take you time.
Yeah. I don't know. You're gonna bring something with you, right? Or was that one of the little boo things? Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some skim milk in them things.
Like meet the Fockers.
So Troy, what gives? What how did the ascension happen? Did it have to just get coaching or just good partnerships? Just building your brand? I want to start with Troy.
Well, honestly, it's been a lot of like serendipitous moments and a lot of like God's handiwork in my life and my journey in this sport, and realizing that a partnership in volleyball can come also with the playing style. So you have a good player and they have points and you kind of like, I want to play with them. But I found out at the beginning of the season that it also depends on their play style. And my play style is a little bit more scrappy. We're going to touch a lot of balls, elongate rallies, and that's how we're going to score our points. I don't really play well with a player who's, really, really good server and a good side out player, but not really going to get those touches on defense.
Yeah.
And that's why when Eric and I play together, in practice and in tournaments, we've had success because we have that matching play style. And Tim Bongren brings that. And
super athlete.
Yeah, crazy athlete.
The guy can play football. He can probably throw a ball from here to Brooklyn. Yeah,
totally. I mean, he was one of the top blockers in the whole season last year, and then makes the transition to defense. Luckily, he chose me, and so it's kind of intimidating at first when you have a really talented blocker ask you to block for them, because you know that they can just look at you and be like, wow, I can get that job done way better. But his personality, we were in sync right from the bat. We've had we practice like every Thursday before every tournament. That's basically what we do. It's what we're doing this week in Hermosa. He's coming in Thursday and we're going to practice. So it's been pretty awesome, but it's definitely Tim Bongren's personality, play style, and his leadership that has gotten me where I'm at. It's not like it's not woe is me. It's just more just trying to point the finger at everybody else who's helped me along the way.
Yeah, man. Cool. Miranda, do me a favor. Pull up the entry list for AVP.com. I just want people to see that at some point.
And it's not like they're a boring team to watch either.
No, they're exciting. They're galvanizing. A lot, as you know, a lot of the fans. I speak for both of you on this, but since I'm talking to you, I'm just going to talk to you. It's cool to have people that you never met take the journey with you. You know what I'm
Totally.
saying? And you have these ups, and they're with you, and they have these downs, and they're like, you know, there's someone you never met. It's like, hey, you know, you lose in the final, say, hey, congratulations. Some of them say congratulations, they keep it upbeat, and some people know that you want a little bit more, and they'll be just keep your head up next tournament. So, very, very fun thing to happen. That's just sports in general,
Totally.
but
Yeah, like we wouldn't have the success I think we were in if it wasn't everybody cheering us on, and the support from the fans has been amazing. So thank you guys. Hopefully it continues, and yeah, ups and downs and wins and losses. It's definitely good to support your peers and whoever you're cheering for. So
no doubt.
Come support us. And speaking of fun teams, you know, I'm just gonna do the transition for you. Eric Beranek, probably one of the craziest people to watch.
Troy, Phil, you dance the dance, because the lead step goes right to one of the hardest working players, and one of the as far as influential and people that do inspiring shit. Did I just say shit stuff on the court?
No, totally.
Yeah,
I think it's.
I mean, look, yeah, we'll address that. We'll address that later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just going into it, that a lot of people ask me, it's like, oh, how did you get that, you know, vertical, or how did you do this? And it came a lot from not really me, like, you know, working at it. It's definitely like God given, but you have like a lot of people don't know that Eric, you know, started from the bottom and he worked his way. He's working through qualifiers, and I think he qualified for almost every qualifier he played.
Well, last time I checked, right? Like six of them.
Yeah,
but he did 6 with 5 different partners or something like that.
Totally. Right? So, and you have, it's just little things, and these are things that Eric wouldn't say about himself, and he gets really uncomfortable when people do it. So
no, that's my job.
Not really.
But yeah, so a lot of people watching this, if you're wondering, you know, what it takes to be a professional volleyball player, Eric's a really good person to ask and to receive that wisdom, because he made that run. He made it through a lot of difficult times as far as negativity and people doubting him, and now he's here.
Yeah, which leads me to Eric. All right, Eric, the last time we talked, we had this conversation, and I looked at the camera and I said, you want to know what it takes to be a better volleyball player? And people are like, oh, you know, how do I get into the draw? How do I get better? Or, I need this partner. I need this partner. And I pointed at the camera. I said, get a coach.
Yeah.
Get a coach. You know, there are certain people that don't need a coach. You got Rafu and Ed. Like, I'm Rafu's. I do charting and coaching with Rafu, but I don't sit in that box. I'm not Ed's coach. You know what I mean? Because some people, you know, that's not their thing. Fallon, she's another one of those. But you had
they're in a different place.
Yeah. Do you remember you had Ricardo last year?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Nothing. How come you ain't training? Okay, I am.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, hey, you want to be a good player? You want to make the draw?
So from last time we talked to this, do you still co-sign on that, or is there something you want to talk about in regards to that, the value of that?
Well, I think for me at first it was getting that coaching, staying on top of practice 4 times a week with a coach. I don't want to go to a practice where I'm not getting good touches, good quality play, because I just don't think it's not doing anything for you to go out and, I don't know, do the triangle drill for 20 minutes. I don't know. I know how to set a ball.
Yeah.
I know how to set a ball.
Yeah.
But I think getting in with better competition now for me is bigger, because I need to be more comfortable setting out against better teams.
Yeah.
And so it's just my training has changed. At first it was, get a coach, do that. And I have Jackson McKechia and Kyle Dennitz that I work with. Yeah.
Tom Black Jedi or something.
Yeah.
Or John, I guess recently John Mayer Jedi, right? Or Aaron Mansfield.
Yeah.
He's one of the best 5 coaches I ever met in my life. So cool.
Yeah. And now it's kind of playing with better people, picking different things up. Right now I'm playing with Marty Lorenz.
Yep.
And Marty is a different animal, and he's been through a lot of high level volleyball that I haven't been a part of.
Okay.
So it's, the first 2 tournaments we played in Austin together, and the whole time our kind of motto was just like, lead me. Like, I want to know what it takes to get there.
Okay.
And I believe that Marty does.
Yeah.
Because he's been there before.
Yeah. Well, in every partnership, and you guys will agree with me, there's no such animal as a 50-50 partnership. There's always someone that has to have a little bit more control than the other. So when you have players that are interchangeable, that if they're the one that has to be the vocal leader or whatever, or if they're like, okay, we're leading this, you got this, and I follow. Those are the ones that enjoy the most success. Even like Phil and Nick. Phil's the one that's actually, oddly enough, he's a dominant blocker, but he's the one that usually gives up the control. It's like Todd, and he has like Nick, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things. When you first qualified with Orlando, it was probably Orlando. When you play with Prosser, it was Matt. When you play with Yoder, it's probably you.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the reason why I brought that up, is because there's certain people that feel comfortable or only do that, and then there are players that are interchangeable. So that's a testament to your greatness, where, Yoder, I got this. Matt, Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah. Lead me. Yeah, cool, man. There's so
there's like a lot of that right now. It's me trying to figure out a new way to beat those better teams and learn. Like, I have an understanding of what I need to do, and Marty's helping me with that.
Good.
And
hey,
he's on
put
my ass.
Put up the draw for a second. Once we can take a look. Other people watching can take a look. Yeah, look at that, boy. There's number one. We scroll all the way down there. Is there 8 spots for a qualifier?
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be 24 altogether on this, like
24.
A first round where 8 plays 16 and 1 and 8 get a bye or something like that.
Yeah, 1 through 8 will get a bye.
Yeah.
16 and 17 will play each other, and then they'll play the 1 seed, whoever that jerk is.
Shit, Eric, let me ask you something. What was the most, as far as level of excitement is concerned, what was the most noteworthy or memorable time that you qualified for the draw? What's the one that comes back, like shoots in your head, shoots in your memory right now?
I know what it is, but go ahead.
We definitely have the camera on him. He's thinking. We caught him thinking. We gotta.
Wait. We gotta say it at the same time.
Okay. There's a lot of different reasons.
I know. Okay.
All right. Yeah, but I know what it is. Yeah. I know which one it is.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Manhattan.
Seattle.
I was gonna say Seattle too, because
I was gonna think about Manhattan.
Really? Well, Manhattan, you got in with Prosser, and like that was a huge.
Yeah.
So he had a top 10 worthy.
The first time that I qualified I was stoked to qualify, and that was like it was huge for me.
Yeah.
And then Manhattan, I had it set in my mind I was qualifying, but the overall experience, and I think the one that sticks out the most is, you're right.
Is that Michael Brunstein?
No.
So Manhattan was Prosser. Seattle was Brunstein. Yeah.
So did you both say Seattle at the same time?
No, he said Seattle, and then he changes his mind to Manhattan. So it's great.
Well, it does, yeah.
Miranda,
thinking about it.
Can you pull up a top 10 plays Manhattan Beach? I've a lot of times people they take the live stream. If I can't make the trip to Austin and Seattle, to this day I've never been to. And then there's some I can tape, but the one I like the most because I witnessed with my own 2 eyes, and it was a match that wasn't even a final round, right? It was Lotman and Olsen, which is not that's a 4th round worthy, right? I'm like, oh, congratulations, he qualified, and he's like, no, he's got 1 more. I'm like, 1 more after that? Who the?
I know. We were deep. Matt didn't have any points. I mean, I didn't really have that many points either, but he didn't have many points, so we scrapped.
That's mine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We could just see if we could scroll to the near end. And the cool thing is on the video, right? I put a reference from The Wire. Have you ever seen The Wire on HBO? Or Marlo, the drug dealer. There was a scene where they were trying to kill someone who robs drug dealers.
Yeah.
So they trapped him. They set the trap. He was trapped on the 5th floor of this big apartment complex, and he couldn't go anywhere. There was no escape. There was no whatever. So he's on the balcony, and the guy jumps. He just jumps from the 5th floor, survives or whatever, breaks a leg, but leaves. So the drug kingpin comes, and all of his guys are waiting there for him, and they all think they're in trouble because they let this guy get away. They had him trapped. So he's like, he has this calm look on his face. His face never changes. Even when he's upset, he's like this. So he's like, so what floor? And the guy goes like this. And he goes. It was the first time I ever saw his face change. And then he goes back to calm. He's like, don't seem possible. Some Spider-Man shit right there. So that was the reference I put when you did this fucking. You saw it. I call it the left and right drill.
Oh yeah.
Please put it up. Do you have it?
This is
Dig
ridiculous.
deep. This is the number one play.
so
Dig
tired.
deep.
This is ridiculous. It's like every player hopes to get this on film.
So it's one of those things that go off the block, comes up with the dig. They try to option. He gets this one left and right drill.
You leave a ball on your side, please, Eric?
So you
I
did
know,
the fake off. You
seriously.
did the fake off the
And
3
then
block switch. I
blow
thought
it.
this was gonna do it, but Olsen wasn't having it. You know, he's nobody's sucker.
I give Matt a crappy call.
Yeah.
They go over
Goes there.
2.
And now all 4
Like,
of them on rubbery legs,
Right
right?
there, I was just like, no, please, God.
And he went safe. And
Here
I
comes,
was
here
like,
comes.
you got to do this. Boom.
And that's
then
where I
he took-
chuck Matt's glasses.
And some woman walking by,
She
she catches them out of the air, just like we're. And everyone that she realized when everyone at the net is looking at her, and I was like,
I chucked those things.
now let it roll for a little bit. This is one of those things. I was like, give me some that. Get over here, boy. I was like,
That was
I
such a
let it
good
roll with
moment.
the scene.
That was
So
such
I
a good
did.
moment.
Gnarly.
You said it don't seem possible. That's some Spider-Man shit right there.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Nah. So chemistry-wise, who you and Marty getting along?
Yeah.
He seems like a pretty easy player to get along. You and Troy, I mean, we already know that. So I like that. That was pretty cool, man. Last good movie you saw, Troy?
Ooh, oh, Spider-Man for sure. Like the brand new Spider-Man. That movie's off the chart. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but that movie was phenomenal. I've also been watching. Everybody knows that I like Harry Potter, but I've been watching all those again. So now I'm into the Fantastic Beasts. I'm in the last one. You know, Grindelwald's Crimes, man. Jeez, that's a phenomenal movie too. If you haven't seen that, but
You too, Miranda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
It's
Cool,
so good.
man. Oh, Mr. Beranek?
Hmm.
He's like, I don't really go to the movies, Jay. I
I
just
haven't
eat, drink, volleyball.
I haven't seen a movie in a while, but I just finished Stranger Things.
Oh,
And I
me too.
loved it.
Ooh.
I loved it.
So good.
I know.
Everyone's
Did
right.
you finish it?
Oh, I finished it. I want to I cried at the end.
Don't say anything.
I'm just saying I cried.
The man's got a
That's
sensitive
it.
side. What
That's
you
okay.
want?
That's okay.
Dougie Fresh. I see you, man. I see you, Dougie Fresh. And if you're in town, you're going to podcast with me tomorrow, me and Jeff Samuels, okay? We're going to talk about John Jones. John Jones getting charged with assault at a strip joint. We're talking about a mixed martial artist.
Oh, perfect.
Me, Jeff, are
It's a
actually.
normal day for
We're like
John Jones.
avid. Yeah, it's like OJ getting caught with another dead white girl. Right? It's like, he's like, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the worst right now, ain't you? I'm like,
I just started sweating.
You're always sweaty.
Yeah,
You're always a little,
Man,
you're always a little
that
pity.
was-
You're always a little
no, but we
Like
like
you wear
the
like-
way. But Eric, we like the way the sweat glistens all over his bald.
pity. My buddy. My buddy. You do glisten.
Yeah.
It's true. It's nice.
So, Eric, you and obviously the guy lives in Minnesota, Tim Baumgren. What is training time like? Do you fly out there sometimes, or does he could just come in? You go a couple of days or whatever.
Nah, he's coming in Thursday. We'll practice Thursday. And
All right.
then we'll play Friday.
Yeah, he's
Pretty
got
much that's it. We had a
Does he have one on the way? He has another kid on the way.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So he's got a little girl on the way, which is awesome. And we basically
Sorry.
yeah. We basically we've been getting practices in the day before tournaments, and it's just been it's been an interesting ride.
Nice.
So.
You and Marty, like listen, Marty a decade ago was one of the people I understand that has a reputation of not wanting to train. Like when you've done Greg Faulkner, who went to Northridge with him, said he did everything he could to get out of practice, and it's one of those things you never notice because you, like you said, some people got that gene charge just mentioned. He's so naturally talented, and I was just curious. I'm asking you the tough question. Where's he at?
Where's he at right now?
Yeah, is he training like a bum or is he training? That's what I want to know.
He's training. I'm not giving him the option.
Yes, cool.
I freaking call him. I'm like, you're not doing this.
No, I like that.
Getting your ass.
You
to
did
the
a
beach.
Ricardo.
Yeah. No.
What are you doing? Let's go. Get dressed.
He's had a little back dinger, and that's why we didn't play together in Seattle. Oh no, that was Seattle. That was Seattle.
Yeah.
New York, I was out. because I had to get a cyst removed from my tailbone, which was not fun. That was probably
I
one
would
of the
love
most
to classify
painful
that as a stupid problem to have, but that is serious business, man. I don't even know. But
Well, no, it went septic. He's like barely survived. Like Eric could have died.
yes,
It's crazy.
It was small, and then it wasn't.
No.
I was like,
Oh yeah, come on, man. That's not how I want to see you go out, man. I want
Yeah, I
someone
know.
says,
I was like,
when
was
someone
shaking.
I would love to see him
like
go
when
out.
Troy comes no, but let's
Like,
say one day Troy comes up to me and is like, Eric died, and I'm like, I ask, how did that happen? I want Troy to say
his second
he got eaten by a bunch of alligators. He was like parasailing and he landed in this alligator pit in Florida.
He
got
did
eaten by
like
a bunch of
30
alligators.
backflips. He landed it, but he actually just got hit by a bus.
Yeah, on the landing when he took a bow, he wound up too far in the street.
Yeah. The first bus that passed him just skimmed his hair, but the second bus got him. And then he actually was walking, and then a pack of wolves dragged him into an alleyway. And then I saw him climb off the fence, but some little girl just kicked him in the neck, and that was enough for him.
Oh my god, some little girl's like, shit happens.
No, but seriously,
little girl's like,
I had a surgery on the cyst, which I didn't know was gonna be a full blown surgery.
Mhm.
And there was gonna be a lance, a drain, and the doctor was like, "You're gonna be fine to play tomorrow." I'm like, "Sweet, this is sick." I'm back at the house on the john. All of a sudden, this little wind chill comes, and I'm like, "Oh God!" And then my body starts going, and I start shaking like uncontrollably. I start shaking. And then I start getting all dizzy. I have a fever like instantly, and it's like something is just not right. And I come outside, and I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, "Mom, I gotta go." I hang up the phone.
Fuck.
My mom just knew something was wrong, so she called my roommate who was out, and I hear him. He's like, "Yeah, I think Eric's fine." And I walk out of the room with a blanket, and I'm like. And my dad picks me up like 15 minutes later, and he was just looking at me. He's like, "Stop being so dramatic." And, and then later they were like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
You could have died."
Yes.
And thank God. you're
Mama
healthy.
knows best.
Yeah, Mama knew.
For anyone who knows Eric's mom, if Eric wants eggs for breakfast and she's 3 miles away, she getting that breakfast for him, man. That is the most loving, caring mom you will ever see. And by the way, that's what keeps her young, right? I know you go to a barber shop and they're like, "Yo," they said, "We're a salon too. We could do your wife's hair too." And you're like, "It's my mother. It's not my wife," So, right? Doesn't this mom look mad young?
No, his mom's,
No, okay.
his mom's hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's also
You
like
said
my
it.
mom.
Good.
She's also my mom.
Did you see how I tap danced
I
around
love you,
hot?
Mom.
I didn't want to say hot. I didn't want to say hot.
Say it.
No, I can say it. It's
Miranda,
it's my
if you
mom's
see any questions on Instagram, look that up.
Sure.
Jeff has questions. We're definitely going to do questions somewhere before.
I tell
at
my
the
mother
end.
not to post on my Instagram pictures
Yeah.
because I don't want like other people going and finding her.
Jeff,
But we are related. What can I say?
Jeff.
If she's hot, I guess.
Yeah. My mom looks like Tina Turner. My mom's African American.
Yeah.
So I'm half black, half white. But
That's why you have
so
that
my friend met
beautiful
my
fro.
mom at the law firm. Yeah, got me a little Jew fro into this thing. Was that?
Said someone asked a question about weight, so
No, ask him now.
said will Troy come and train with us at Central Park for AVP New York next year?
Send me a time and place.
Yes.
Where's it at?
Did you go this year? Did you go to Central Park? Because I know
I did.
the girls ran off the gas
Oh.
for like court time. So Dougie Fresh,
Mhm.
who's actually on watching this, took Trevor, Rosie, Ricardo to Central Park, and it meant everything in the world to a lot of those people. So Central Park volleyball courts are basically like 50 to 70 people. Everyone knows each other, and you got guys flying from Italy that play indoor pro, Germany, whatever, and they're just playing pickup. And it's one court that's ridiculous pickups, just indoor players on kind of a jumper sand, and maybe guys like you, guys like you last year who were coming up that were just coming in early before the rush.
Yeah.
Come in early and get the training. You should go.
Yeah, I didn't
They
even
would
know
love
anything
you.
about it.
Yeah.
Tim and I were actually the last players to get a hotel room in the
Oh.
hotel, and he was sitting there for 2 hours waiting. And
Patrick's
everyone
like,
else-
"Bro, you have an open invite." Sorry, go ahead.
open invite.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So I was at the venue I kind of did a little bit of exploring. I got to New York
Tried
early,
Zaun and
and he ended up walking from the hotel and carrying like my 40-pound backpack because it had like all my computer.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Tim would have gave you a piggyback ride. That's how
Oh,
gung ho that dude looks, right?
He's like farm strong. He just bales of hay for days. Yeah, he's crazy. But Midwest strong. But I'd love to come to Central Park. I haven't been. I did a little bit of exploring this year in New York. I went to the Empire State Building.
Okay.
What's the high rise? What's the that super like hipster place that's like Chelsea Market, and then that walk.
Yes.
It's like a train.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good place to hang out.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, I did that with Kelly Reeves and Allie Wheeler, so that was pretty fun little walk. And then we watched Chase qualify. So just hung around the venue. But
they beat the Partains, I think, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a crazy match against actually. Marty. Is that correct?
Yeah, Marty.
Miles. That was like heavy main draw match in the third round of qualifier. Not even the round to get in. It was like, geez.
Well, for a number one seed, they had a rough pack too. I mean, the Partains had to beat Jeff and Vandermeer, who's Samuel Zavander, who's not an easy out.
Playing really well.
Yeah.
Those kids are so gnarly.
Jeff has a question. He says, if you could have lunch with one person alive and dead, who would it be?
Oh, I know who I'd have lunch with. Well, if it was with you, for sure. Like, we were going to go to lunch together, and I think you'd agree.
I want to be dead.
Look at them. They look at each other and see love.
It's a dead person.
Yeah,
alive or dead.
We're having lunch together.
Alive or dead.
No, like I'm saying, you and I call this dead person up, and we go have lunch with him. I know who it is.
Who is it?
Freddie Mercury. That'd be epic. Can you imagine?
Hell yeah.
Right?
That would be sick.
Well, just us two. I mean, like, just the legend. I would just want to, like, hear all the stories. And
no, because that's what I thought you were saying at first. I was like, who would you want to have lunch with, alive or dead? And they just looked at each other and saw love. It was like, all you needed was...
That's how I want to see Freddie Mercury.
But it's the kind of face when someone serves in the middle of the night, that guy has it. It's like,
and then there's like,
I thought you were there for me. I thought you were going to do that.
I thought you had it. I thought you had it.
Oh my God.
But it was yours team.
Yeah, Jeff and Dougie Fresh are going to come on.
Freddie Mercury, shout out to him. We listen to Queen all the time, pump up to Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So
we do.
Yeah.
Hey.
Probably one of my favorite bands.
Jeff, Patrick says next time you come, they got a good Airbnb on the Upper East Side. It's a little trek from the courts, but it's a really nice place, and it's uber close to the park and some of the best restaurants in New York City.
Hey,
so.
I'm always down. I ate at the same pizza place every night.
Yeah, so
we ate there first, and we were like, all right, and then we ate there the second night, and then we started doing well. We're like, oh shoot, we have to keep going. And so same New York Pizza Supreme. Pizza Suprema, if you know where that is. It's pretty close to Koreatown.
Yep.
Right across from the garden, the new garden. It was awesome, like unreal pizza. And we talked to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you some hats." I'm like, that is sick. I would love a Pizza Supreme hat.
You're talking about new garden, like Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, Madison Square Garden. And and so we ended up not getting hats because it was super busy, and the guy didn't really seem like he was in charge. But I would love a hat. So if you go to Pizza Suprema, run into one of the guys who's sweeping the floor.
Well, I'll definitely send someone there, but I'm not going there, Madison Square Garden, for one reason.
What?
The New York Knicks.
You don't like them?
They are an abomination. As long as Dolan is the owner, I used to like to go to Stephen A. Smith's, and I share this. I used to like to go to a White Castle just for whatever, and I think I'm not going to go there because I think the Knicks might contaminate the meat. They are bad. They are an abomination. They were the Knicks. Now maybe the Nets. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. They got Durant, even though he's going to be out. They got Kyrie Irving. So man. Oh, so good. Let's jump off the cliff and steer this direction.
Hey, by the way, 1 second.
Please.
I love Miranda and I were laughing our asses off when you were talking about eating pizza all the way to the finals of New York.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The guy's just shoveling his face full of pizza.
Dude, I was eating pizza off my chest like an otter. I was in
pizza.
My hotel room, and pizza was like on my chest when we were watching, and I was like almost falling asleep with pizza on my chest.
It's the one food.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's the one food. When I grew up in New York, I told everyone it was the one food. If I had to survive, one food to survive the rest of my life off of, pizza. It's changed since I moved here, of course, because it's different, whatever.
They have like 15, like 20 different selections of pizzas, and Mike Brunstein and I got the same 3. It was wild.
Didn't even switch it up.
And then I switched it up after that, right?
They were too
Like
good.
chicken parm, What I
Oh,
have,
the hero. Was it a hero?
Ooh, yeah.
You know what a hero is, right?
yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It was just like the pizza was out of this world, and I got like
Yeah.
6-7 slices every time, and
Yeah.
took care of me. If you want to make it to an AVP final in New York Pizza Suprema.
That is.
Gosh, sorry.
It's
Something in that.
look. It's a top 5 carb load too to
Oh, yeah.
prepare for tournaments. I like bow tie. There's bow tie pasta. There's actually veal parmesan is a little bit better than chicken. I don't know why. You something eating a baby thing for some reason is more.
Eating a baby, like a human baby,
A human baby.
like
Yeah.
eating a baby.
But they have to be gifted. That's how your IQ gets better. You have to how to raise your
Smart
IQ by
baby.
eating gifted
You
children.
gotta eat a smart baby.
Yes, don't eat no
Yeah.
dumb babies.
Then I got the
okay?
strength
It
of a
makes you
full-grown
dumb.
man and a baby.
Tell you what, I got a 2-year-old upstairs. Mom went to Harvard. Okay, the grandparents went to Harvard and Duke. We're
Chow down.
snacking on that one. We're just like, look at Miranda's like, you're not getting
I wanna
past me,
save
for
her
you
blonde hair.
fuckers.
We're not touching the baby.
Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
So let's steer the NBA direction. Kawhi
Ooh.
pulls his gangster move, right, and goes
That's so sick.
goes
He's
to
kind of like without the aggressiveness as Conor McGregor. He's kind of just like, oh, fine, I'll
Yeah.
go to the lightweight division. I
Yeah.
want a championship. I'll stay where I'm at and win a championship. I'll be the first person with 2 belts.
yeah.
So he's just gonna be like, fine.
Yeah.
I'll. I mean, Chase Budinger doesn't think I know anything about basketball, which is true. Like I don't. I know enough about a little bit, so I can like hop in the.
Well, Chase, there's a reason why you're playing volleyball. Okay, come on.
I mean, he's just
I
like.
mean, like
I
you
know-
like
I
you
know
know
a
shit
little
about
bit.
basketball. Come on.
He's
Played for the
he's-
Nets. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
So I know a little bit about everything. So it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, but I actually don't. So
I'm pretty disappointed that he didn't go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Well, I'm a Lakers
I'm
guy.
more disappointed he didn't stick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Toronto,
like you have DeMar who wanted to end his career. In
And is there a
Toronto.
better fan base as far as like
Oh my
love and
gosh.
support? And you have an entire nation. I'm not just talking about Toronto. You have an entire nation
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
you,
Seriously.
and you win for them. You stay. You talk about DeRozan, right?
Well, I'm talking about like DeRozan who like wanted to end his career in Toronto, like wanted to be a lifer, kind of like Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
And then Toronto's just kind of like, bye, Felicia. We're gonna get this guy, and he's gonna stay with us.
No.
And Kawhi's like, should have kept DeMar because I'm out.
Yeah.
Peace. Thanks
Yeah.
for the MVP trophy
Yeah.
and the ring.
Yeah. Thanks for the new coach too. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy who got fired the previous year was voted coach of the year. So
Yeah.
how's that for
I
irony?
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild, but
Yeah.
shoot.
I'm
LA's
glad, I knew
gonna- LA's
I
gonna
knew you
have-
followed. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah, LA's gonna have some really good basketball, and
Yeah.
I'm excited. We went to a game last year. We have
Mhm.
a friend who hooked us up
Hi.
with some sweet seats, and
Nice.
yeah. So hopefully we can make a few more. Yeah, if you're watching and you want to go watch baseball game with us too.
Sweets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also we were talking about good coaching before. If you think about who Kawhi Leonard's played for, right? He played for Popovich, San Antonio. He played for Nurse, who for the people for the diehards, they knew who he was. They knew he was a very, very highly capable coach. And now Doc Rivers, so it's good that he has these strong personalities. Like
Has Doc Rivers ever had like a non-forced voice?
no.
Has he always sounded?
Even
like,
when he played for the Knicks.
it's not Mike's fault.
Doc played for the Knicks in
I love that.
'94.
It's not Mike's fault.
That's him. That's him. He came out the crib like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah,
first
mom,
words.
mom, I told you no cheese on this shit. So,
That's actually not my own joke, so if you're laughing,
Oh my
that's,
gosh.
so Anthony Davis coming to the Lakers. You're a Lakers guy.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Stoked about that.
Yeah, man.
There's
that's
not much to
exciting.
say. I'm stoked that
Yeah.
we need more shooters.
Yeah, we do.
We need more shooters.
Yeah, it's the time of the big gone in the NBA where people would rather have a shooter than Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? It made Cousins, position kind of a
Yeah.
little bit obsolete, right?
Well, I love that LeBron's a point guard. He's been playing point guard his whole life, almost.
It really has been.
If you look at his passes
Yeah.
versus Rondo's passes, if you were gonna watch a highlight reel, like
Yep.
they'd almost look identical, or LeBron would be a little bit better.
Very Jordan-esque.
Yeah, so,
Jordan started as a small forward and then became
Yeah, I
a
think it's-
scoring
yeah.
guard and takes
I
the
think
point
it's
a
really,
lot.
really good for him because LeBron. I think last year, I don't know if it was because of his new team, but he kind
Bobby
of
Jacobs. Sorry, go ahead.
because he
God, I
He,
love you.
yes, I love you. But he played a little like timid role. You didn't see him as physical. Like LeBron didn't really take over as many games as he did in Cleveland, and so I think maybe that'll be good to have another big guy to kind of just power teams down and drive people to the paint. And he's gonna go in. He's still LeBron, so people are still gonna double team him when he drives, and he can just dish out. So I like the Anthony Davis move. I think it's gonna be like a Kobe and Shaq type of feel where.
Yeah.
you have a big, strong guy. Not saying that those guys are anything like those
No,
two
but
athletes,
they back
but
each other up like two-way as far as being a two-way player.
Totally.
Fine.
You know, the way Shaq was like getting those rebounds and then kind of just going those points in the paint.
Mhm.
I do think that they need people on the perimeter too, because that's kind of where the game is going. And if you have LeBron and AD in a paint, you know, say on a drive, you just dish it out to somebody. I don't know how you get a rebound over those two guys.
Smacked, assuming you even get the shot off. I mean,
They should just take it back
Davis
and be
is a
like
good shot blocker too.
You just take it back and be like the bad boys.
Yeah.
Just like, let's do it. Let's go like the Pistons.
Detroit, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That was a sweet. If you haven't seen that, you know, 60 for 60 or whatever, 30 for 30. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Trotter says, I never thought I would see the day of free agents turn down the Lakers and Knicks for the Clippers and Nets.
Yeah.
We are. Do you think Kawhi smelt drama a little bit too? They made him. I mean, we knew he's from LA. He's, you know, a Riverside guy or by way of somewhere. Do you think he smelled just the drama in the front office that was hitting the national headlines that made him say thanks but no thanks?
Geez, I don't know. I don't know what his, you know, decision-making process was, because he has this, you know, reputation as kind of being this interesting person, like doesn't talk. Like his interviews are always on Sports Center because he's so bland.
Very
just
Duncan-esque.
Very vanilla. Like
Right?
not really.
Tim Duncan?
Yeah.
But he's one of the best players in the league right now, if not the best right now.
Mhm.
And so I don't know. I don't know what his decision-making process. That's why I said like that Conor McGregor, that like wild factor. You just kind of like he's gonna do whatever he wants, and
he takes chances.
So
And it's cool that you mentioned Conor McGregor because he's someone, because he's like that, he just rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But I think there's something to be said about betting on yourself and doing things that raise your brand. Sometimes rising and it's made it more popular. Like rising how's the saying go? Rising tides lift all ships.
Yeah.
You know, it's made his opponent makes money now.
Yeah.
You know, like when
totally.
when he challenged RDA, he's like, call your wife. It's red panty night. That's what he was saying.
Well, even then, it's like any publicity, like even negative publicity, is still great. You know, if people are talking about like how much I hate Troy Field, and then like, all right, lose.
But every now and then you run into.
But you're gonna buy a hat.
But
I'm gonna tell you.
You know the crazy thing is, every now and then you run into that person. And I'm gonna talk to Jeff with this maybe later tonight or with Dougie Fresh tomorrow. But every now and then you run into that person that don't play that. Oof, you know. I mean, Diaz. You know, he was one of them guys that didn't play that. Diaz won that first time, and Connor won the second time. But I thought that was more of a survival thing. Like he gassed and it was just creating space because he knew he was out on the scorecards.
Yeah.
Then you got Khabib. You know, I mean, you do things to sell tickets, but there's some people where you talk about someone's religion, right? You talk about someone's, I mean, we Jesus people, right? You're talking about Jesus. I'm gonna give you a 2-piece and a 3-piece and a soda, pop,
Sounds good.
You have food here? No, but it's so that's when it backfires because some people, they know it's for promotional things, and then some people are like, it's for promotional things, but it's also to try to get someone that's so angry that they're gonna do something like volleyball. People chat under the net, Patterson's really good at that.
Like
Patterson will say something to see if he'll get you to miss.
Totally, Trevor Crabb has had that reputation of being a little bit more forward on Instagram, and he's an incredible player. Like he actually is. If we're gonna be honest, he's the #1 team in the nation. Who's that? Trevor and Tri. Yeah. The #1 team going to the Olympics as of right now. And he has that, kind of had that chatter when he's doing this. And he still has it. But it's one of those things like he also put people in the stands because that Trevor and Taylor match in Hermosa last year, that was the first time they played against each other. And it's like, ooh. So he packed the stands similar to a Conor McGregor, and people are still talking about Trevor, and his humor on Instagram, and he has that. But you talk to Trevor, and he's still like a nice guy, still a normal human being. He's not this like, and really, and Conor's the same way. Like when he lost, he was like, "I respect you. You're a very talented athlete." And yada yada yada. And Trevor, I think and hope would be the same way. But we have the joke, it's like. I posted a photo of like me high-fiving Trevor in Chicago, and I'm like, this is probably the only high five I've ever got from Trevor. Like as a joke. Yeah, but, of course, yeah. It's one of those things, like obviously not. We've hung out and we've gotten drinks together, and he's actually a good guy. But same thing with Conor. Like those type of people can be good for the sport because they can pack seats and they offer this new little edge of what's going to happen. Casey, like you were saying, yeah, he's a great player for that reason. And we chirped in Seattle, but it was all fun, and it was just the same thing we do in practice. It was we're just not going to be fake. It's just not going to take this sport like, oh my gosh, it'd be super serious. And we got to do this. It's like, no, I'm playing for a semifinal, which is huge, but I'm also going to have fun with it. And when you say you bounce a ball and it lands on the 23rd foot line, it's like, and I'm going to hit a ball on the 4-foot line, I'm like, dude, you got to celebrate. Like, you can't celebrate when you hit a ball like way back here. You got to, and so we're saying those things to each other, and it's hilarious. And
you're like, that's it?
Yeah, I'm like, that's it. Yeah. But of course, then the most viral video from that tournament was me pulling on Casey and him hitting that ball.
What are you doing? That was fun.
It's hilarious because like the first year they incorporate mics on the court is like, he's been saying that for his whole career. And now it's the first year everybody heard it, and it's against me. So, but again,
just don't mic up coaches.
Publicity. Like, I'm in that video, so I don't care if it's bad. Like, people are still gonna laugh at me and be like, for what, you're so stupid. It's like, hey,
me, I just say don't mic up coaches. It's like, you ever see Bill Parcells on like some of these documentaries, and he's mic'd up, or there's like a mic over here. It's not, we can't play, we're too stupid, whatever. And he thinks no one's like, you have to know people are listening. He's like, and you see him, he's like, where's Anderson? And he's over here. And he's like, and Bill's the one saying, all right, don't get excited. I'm like, but he's the one doing all the fucking yelling. Eric, favorite basketball player, since we're staring away from that, but I wanted to ask you.
Well, it's got to definitely be Kobe Bryant, because I'm just Lakers, grew up Lakers.
Your favorite active one? So there's a lot of them, huh? I mean, Greek Freak's fun to watch.
Man,
that's Troy Field. That's the Troy Field of basketball. Greek Freak.
My gosh, no, that'd be like the biggest compliment ever.
Yeah.
I'm not,
well, I'm trying to compliment.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, he's in his own.
I would say Chase
get around
Buttinger,
insulting you later. I'm going to give you a compliment now.
I would say Chase Buttinger, but he's not active.
No.
I don't know. I don't have one right now.
I Damian Lillard.
I love.
He's so rad.
He's the most great not talked about player.
Totally, and he's gonna finish in Portland, and he's gonna do a great job. And I just love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that 3 to send it, and then he's just so. It's just an exciting player, and he doesn't really have that, that chirpy side of him. And just when Westbrook brought that out and was talking, and he was just like, all right, fine.
There it is.
And then he's just
shot the 3. Oh yeah, bye.
Oh man, that was so cool.
Do you know how many times I've done that in a volleyball game? That's crazy. Like, I'm a 30-year indoor player, so it's sometimes the gym's hot, it's more intense, the fans are booing. You're playing in the away game, I'm overseas, and there was one play, I was hitting outside instead of before I became a setter. We get a ball, and I'm playing on the road against Baumholder, Germany, right? And their English is pretty good, so I'm 6'1". Everyone else is like 6'8" or whatever, and this and that. But my wingspan's 6'8". My wingspan's 8 inches, so that kind of helped me. So you can only hit cross. Whatever. So match point, I hit a ball line. And he knew I was going to go line because they were trying to bait me into saying, I'll show you. But I saw him, and I dropped it. And I had to jump, almost like broad jump. So I broad jump, wrist away line, left side, left hand, left side. Goes wide. I go under the net. Because but off the court, under the net in front of their bench, and I say, out, go home. Like that. And everyone, they were like, you just need to go. And I kept it in. And young people, sometimes you got to let it out. I think Eric could have let it out, but I kept it in the whole match. Just got blocked. Oh, you can't, or this or that. And then match point, I said, out. I said, out, looked at him, and then I looked away, and I said, go home, like that. And the whole crowd went, oh my God. And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. But I mean, I didn't last in that league. I was a Brooklyn kid. I felt like if you asked me, I felt like I always had to stand up for myself. Like someone says, stay down, white boy. I'm gonna be like, fuck you. How about that? Come get some. You just call me a bitch. Come treat me like a bitch. So it's one of them things where volleyball's not used to that personality.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of chatter they like. And then the ref calls captains over because I come back, and now I'm yelling at the ref. I'm like, you should have shut down that white boy stuff. Now I get a red because because you can't hurt the ref's feelings. You can hurt each other's feelings.
Yeah.
But you can't hurt the rest feelings. So, all right, and I'm back. Snap back. Yeah. So, you mentioned Westbrook. That was my favorite. Not my first one that pops in my head. He just plays. He doesn't. He's like the Jeremy Casebeer of basketball. He doesn't take a play off. He goes 100%. You know, some players you have to get this cruise control where you're like you operate at 90%. Like if you jump 35 inches, you jump like 33. So this way your pointer reaches the same every play instead of 35, 35, 30, 30 is.
Yeah.
Jeremy Casebeer is like one of the only guys I know that does 100% every play. And I'm like, what are you gonna do after this is over? Go nail someone to a cross? He's still got like all this energy or something, you know?
Well, he plays all year
It's
round.
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Questions. Miranda, you got questions on Instagram? You can scroll down.
Not on this one.
All right. Not in America, Brazil, they get away with that. Italy, they get away with that. Well, Italy, for Endo, you don't trash talk Brazil or Italy. That's like giving Popeye spinach. Some teams, you just you let us sleep and tiger a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get after the refs. It's crazy.
Did you see the Olympics? They were basically a 6-person. It should have been a 6-person yellow card. There was they served Aaron Russell, and Russell kind of like flailed at it, and the rest called it out, but he got a piece. All 6 guys ran to the top ref, and then all 6 guys ran to the bottom ref. All 6 guys ran to the line judge. It looked like 300. You know, like the Spartans stick together. It was the longest not yellow card, no warning, no nothing. And then the replay showed that Aaron dumboed it. And then one play later, he got ace too. So I was like, where's Reed Pretty when you need him? So Eric, you said, okay, never thought I would see a day free agents, blah, blah, blah. Wow, we're just killing it right now. Are you guys training tomorrow? You are, you're not.
I'm not. I'm taking the day off tomorrow.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. All right.
Without Tim here, it's kind of like, I think I'm just going to do my own thing and then I have coaching.
Mm-hmm. Norseca, did you qualify?
No, I didn't play in the Norseca.
Okay.
I didn't even know about it.
And people telling me all these lies. It's a secret secret society tournament.
No, Travis and Miles. Sorry, Travis and Kyle Friend.
Yeah.
Troy, most interesting thing that happened on one of your trips. You got a fun story? Europe or Cuba or Dominican Republic?
Or Santa Cruz.
Someone steal your luggage.
I don't know. There's a lot. New Zealand was filled with fun stories from our travels. That was like my first big tournament. I can talk about snow volleyball and what happened there.
Was that Mammoth or where was that?
Snow volleyball was in Italy.
Italy. Okay.
Yeah. Played with the McKibbins, and some fun stuff that happened there. We played in a.
This for you.
We played in a blizzard. It was like to qualify. So we get the wild card into the qualifier, so the last team in the tournament, and then we play in it's a 50-kilometer winds, and it's just you had to wear your glasses or your eyes hurt from how much snow was hitting you in the face, and so we actually lose the first set to some young Swiss team. They took photos with us because they're like, we're so happy we beat you. At least we took one set off of you. They're like, oh yeah, that feels great. So we somehow took care of that one in 3, which was crazy. Then we played Germany.
Okay.
Beat Germany to get in. Then it snowed so much that the tournament had to skip one day, so they shut down the day. So what other sport can you go and snowboard on your off day? So that's what we did.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was
really cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was me, Zaun, Travis Moritter, Katie Spieler, Allie Wheeler, everybody, and Riley came, and it was a blast. So trying to qualify in a 50-kilometer blizzard was pretty gnarly.
Oh my gosh.
Eric, where were you when you heard about Zaun?
I was probably at the house.
You're back in California though, right?
Yeah, I was back in California. Yeah. Man, this whole situation, just nuts. It really affected a lot of people in the volleyball world. Community so tightly knitted that I think it touched everyone, even if they weren't super close to him.
Right.
Because he's a really good volleyball player.
We had a conversation about people who are good for the sport too. and you and it popped up twice. You mentioned him in the snow volleyball thing, so forgive me first.
No. It's
I gave you guys a hook.
I think we should.
I
should.
didn't see it coming.
It shouldn't be,
we should talk about.
Yeah, we should talk about it. We should be able to talk about it and feel,
we were
comfortable
having
with
some conversations in New York.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not in New York, in Seattle.
Yeah.
About it and how when you kind of bring up suicide, it kind of takes the air out of the room. It's just like, hey, do you know Jesus? And it's just like everyone gets offended or it just gets quiet. And suicide and that sort of disease leading to that is something that is really
your operative word. Yep.
Yeah, it's really something that can kind of be hushed, like, ooh, don't talk about that, like don't bring down the energy of the room. And and it's not easy. It's not something we're going to talk about now at all, but it is something that a lot of people struggle with, and people can put themselves in that position where those thoughts get to you, or something, that demon that whispering in your ear. And hey, so I think it is something we should be able to talk about a little bit more freely, and to understand, and it's a helping hand. It's not something like, ooh, that's gross and disgusting. It's like, yeah, the whole act is gross, but you still care about that person. You wouldn't want to be like, hey, stop talking about that, because and then all of a sudden you find out that happens, and maybe they actually do commit suicide. It's like, what if we did talk about it?
Yeah.
You don't want to be at the end of your rope, and you hear that, and I think that's why the whole volleyball community felt that for Eric, and I felt that, and I miss him every day. And it's just one of those things that, like, I don't need to post about it. I don't need to say like, hey, I'm missing you, because I don't need that feedback from everybody else. Like, I don't want people to know that, like, oh, I miss Eric. Like, every single day, like, I have photos of him on my phone, and like that I have a boatload of temporary tattoos that I'm gonna wear for the rest of the season, and like, he's never gonna die in my heart. And I dude, I miss you, and I love you, and hope you found that peace. But it is something that I think we should talk about freely, and we should be comfortable.
We should be able to talk about it. I think almost every single practice something will come up, and Zaun will be a part of it. So he lives on.
For sure.
Yeah. He lives on.
Yeah. He lives on.
He lives on.
I
like that.
I had something.
Should be a t-shirt.
I had something every time I saw him, I would scream, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Zaun." And then he'd go, dun, 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 dun. I would suggest, piggybacking what the two of you said, that talking about fun stories about Zaun as a celebration of life, but also talking about maybe the demons in his head that led to this, like you said, this disease, this form of insanity, because I support Freud in one respect, where one's will to preserve their own life is the very essence of sanity. Okay, so it's definitely a disease. But I would suggest to you guys, and maybe you guys co-sign with me, that these things, his celebration and talking about his death, are not exclusive things. They're binary. They're interjoined. They have to be. It has to be happy and sad. It has to be someone you're sad and you miss him deeply. And of course, you guys are more closer to him. I mean, I have the pleasure of looking on the outside in, and some of you guys let me in your life, and we become friends. Me and your friends. Me and you are definitely fucking friends.
Yeah.
And I see him, and I'm like, he comes back from Central Park. I said, "How was it?" And he's like, "I went there with my dick in my hand," because he always tries to sensationalize something to make you go, "Oh, wait, what?" Like, you did what? But he never, because he's a Jersey boy, and because I'm similar to that. I'm always like, "You didn't get me. You didn't get me." So, and I was like, "Geez, he is." So no, but I just want to let you know I appreciate that. But what you said is totally necessary, because I don't think that those two things are separate.
Yeah,
they can be, or they just are binary. So, my best memory,
totally. It's one of those things that takes it out.
You got a funny Zaun story, or just an interesting Zaun story? Something with the ref or something here. You've had a pretty good relationship with those guys too, about hands.
I think it was just not even a story, but it was the consistency of just him and his personality. I loved him, texting me, "Hey, heard you're having a barbecue. Can I come over?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, come over." And then he shows up with a 6-pack. He's like, "Thanks for having me. I'm just going to go sit over here on the couch." And he's chilling on the couch, hanging out with, some of his friends. And I'm like, "You want a burger?" He's like, "Thanks, big dog." And it was just,
Do you always find him deflecting people that try to get close? Like there's a conversation and you're trying to get to know him or whatever, and then he kind of was there instances where he kind of like nuts up where he's talking about it and then doesn't want to?
I never felt that from him.
All right.
But I wasn't super close with him, so I can say, we had a lunch here and there.
Yeah.
We hung out here and there. We'd have a practice here and there, and he would always share stories or different things.
I'm just sad. I'm sad with you guys. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm insensitive, but remember we were talking about how we wanted you. If you told me Eric died, now so how did he go out? And I'd rather have him get eaten by a bunch of alligators parachuting than jump from a hotel, 26th floor window.
Yeah. No, it's it was a heavy thing, but his, like Eric said, he lives on so much through like. He lives on. Yeah.
I like that.
My first
Dave
USA,
Carson, what's up? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my first USA trunks. My friend in. We wore them in China together, and I have my USA jacket. I actually wore it last night. That he gave me, and I have his foam roller that he gave me in like a giant thing of protein powder. So it's all these things in my room that I have like of Eric that I just like look at and like, you're that guy, because. So many different times he'd always leave something at practice, and I'd always take it and be like, "Dude, I have this." And he's like, "I just keep it." He's like, "It's just Eric." Such a goober.
I thought one of his best performances was in a losing effort. He was it was a Huntington P1440 or whatever. He faced the Mexicans. Was it Ontiveros and Tiwi? It was Tiwi and Ontiveros. And I rarely, any of us rarely remember a great performance in a losing effort. You just don't. You just remember who won, and this and that, and that's the general paintbrush. But every now and then you remember something that someone did really well and didn't win. The first set and a half, he got served every ball, and I had a new respect. I knew he could ball, but I had a new respect at the way this man, the perfection of his passes. I already ended the perfection of his passes. Watching the progressions, watching people leave home, reading the 4-block switch. And playing the game of inches, where like certain teams only lose to perfection. Like I'll give up that shot if you can, if he can have that, he got it. This was December last year. I said, man, I have never seen you perform like that. So that's one of the memories I have about him.
Yeah.
And Jersey's where he wanted to go, I guess, right? Right? I mean, if you're not from here and if you're fed up with here, you don't want to die here. I told Kelly last year. When I wasn't getting coaching opportunities, I'm a 20-year coach. I told Keller, I was like, look, if you want to kill me, take me back to Brooklyn and kill me, right? Yeah. Put 2 on my head, put me under the Verrazano Bridge, like a proper Brooklyner. Don't let me die here in the desert like a goddamn snake. So, I mean, you guys have ups and downs, and I'm sure you're not going to kill yourselves, but I'm sure you felt a level of frustration coming up and this and that.
I think a common theme in volleyball players, and we'll have chats that we can't basically say that our best finish is going to be indicative of how we feel.
Right.
And I had a really good practice today, so this is why I'm happy. Or if I don't have a good practice, or I haven't been finishing that well, then what am I worth? Right. And I think there's a lot of that negative energy in this volleyball community. I don't know if you feel it from yourself, but I can see it with other people a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call out names, obviously.
No.
But
there's so many.
And it's easy to do. Right? But it's easy to do.
Yeah.
It's easy to do with myself, and I still do it sometimes. And I got to bring myself back down to earth, because if you're putting your heart and soul into something, and you're not getting the results, it could be pretty, it could be a horrible feeling. And I think that's, that thing about getting through the qualifiers. And, I played 14 before I ever qualified before.
Yeah.
And so many of my friends, like I kept telling my friends and my family, I'm going to be a professional volleyball player. I'm going to be a professional volleyball player. Yeah. And, I would say my family's very successful, and they're very hardworking, blue collar, and they're like, what are you doing? You're just wasting your time. And that definitely, it could start to wear on you.
Yeah.
But you just got to really believe in yourself and think about big picture.
It's your blue collar family too. You grew up. What does your dad do?
My family's all jacked up. So,
Yeah,
that's
my girl's family.
Yeah,
I'm a son of an iron worker. My first
Yeah.
job, I was doing iron work when I was reading blueprints, cutting steel. My dad was welding, and I was so yeah. And I wanted to do acting. And just like, like, boy, you better get a civil service job. So, right?
You're gonna learn what?
Be an
You're gonna
actor.
learn what trade?
Yeah, get out of here. So I chose something safer than acting. I chose volleyball. Eric, I know we're kind of winding down a little bit. And Troy, because I just looked at you and called you Eric. So
That's right.
apologies.
That's okay.
ENT,
or
Miranda, right?
one.
Miranda. Okay. Wanted to talk a little bit about. I think the reason why I was going to Eric Zaun is I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health and how much you guys think mental health. In my opinion, I just want to know if you share this. It's kind of a common denominator with every hot button social issue. Like if you look at school shootings, you look at gun control, you look at homelessness, you look at people getting arrested for cocaine possession, just knowing they could go to jail, but they're using it anyway or whatever, either because it's fun, it's recreational, or because they're neurologically addicted. So I guess the question is, how much do you co-sign with me on how like we should be putting more money into mental health than incarcerating people for using drugs, kicking, arresting someone for being homeless because he ain't got nowhere to go, or taking away everybody's gun because some guy goes crazy or whatever.
Totally. I was just in Big Bear for my roommate's bachelor party, and we were on a hike and talking about the benefits of being silent. And when you're in a quiet situation, driving in a car and you turn down the music or whatever it is, you find yourself on a walk on the beach and you don't bring any music, it's just you and your thoughts, and how it can be dangerous in today's world because we're using, and myself included, we're using different things to numb the brain and kind of just quiet it down, as opposed to actually, listening to those things and tackling those things. And that's why, in my opinion, you can get in these situations where you have those quiet thoughts and all of a sudden it's like, dang, like these are heavy. I don't have anything to suppress this. And that's where that action can come out, or I'm going to use this to quiet these. And silence is so beautiful and also useful. Like silence offers the ability to listen to great ideas and to like understand what's going on in your body. And when in today's society where, we have Netflix and we have, video games, and we have, drugs, alcohol, and Instagram, and everything like that to just numb the brain and keep you busy. Books offered this, thing of like knowledge and reading, but also it had to be, in this quiet time. You grew up in Brooklyn, so on the subway, it's like now, you're reading. Back then, it's like now you don't even have to look up. You're just there and you hear the ding, and you're off the, the train without even looking at people around you. I was talking to Tim about, do people like interact on the subway, like, before phones and everything, because I was looking around and seeing everybody there. But yeah, in a society where you can numb the brain, the quiet moments it's almost like a tidal wave. It's almost like you're trying to hold back a monster, like the bathtub's overflowing and you're pushing against the door. Yeah. And finally that door breaks, and now you're going to get this overflow of emotion and overflow of thoughts, whether it's if you're doing proactively talking those out, like going out with a friend and just having dinner and talking about those vulnerable moments and doing those things. And girls are a lot more, a lot better at that than we are as men. We don't really want to talk. You kind of grow up and you're like, hey, like shut up, like, like don't cry, and those type of things. And so, girls have that opportunity to talk about those things on a day-to-day basis, and they're doing a good job. Here's one
raising hell upstairs.
Someone upstairs. But not to just completely take over the conversation, but it's funny that you bring it up because I was just talking about it this past weekend. But I guess whatever, end the speech or whatever you want to call it. But talk about your feelings. Enjoy the quiet moments and figure out how to work through that, as opposed to
No.
And it's okay to feel sad. Like, it's okay to be down. And I think that's what's great. Like, I'm going to cry it out and eat some ice cream and then hang out with my girlfriends, where guys are like, I'm going to chase a rabbit with a weed whacker and pretend I didn't love her. It's like, what the?
I can tie that into
talk about this
to our emotions, to Zaun, to volleyball, and not getting too down on ourselves. I think we could tie that all together.
Oh, perfect.
And being able to talk things through, and taking good quality time with yourself to really evaluate you.
That's big.
Yeah, even you think about everything we talked about today. It's just like we talked about the highs of being the 1 seed, the being the player who works through and becomes this professional athlete. And you can have that in the same conversation.
You're the best 2 guys for the job as far as talking.
You can all have that. You can talk about serious stuff. You can talk about happy stuff. It's not just one thing where you leave. I'm not going to leave this house and be like, oh, I just talked about Zaun. No. And I talked about mental health. Like, well, today sucks. It's like, no, walk away smiling, because that's how life's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to talk about
that. The last time I talked to you guys individually, when it ended and we turned off, we were like, yeah, that's pretty freaking good. I'm hoping that happens this time too, because we went so many. I unwittingly steered us 100 different directions, but I'm just trying to get people to see as many sides of you guys or whatever. I would also think, like, as far as mental health, I think if you have somewhere where you can release whatever, like all this pent up energy, where you can put it somewhere. Someone likes to hit a heavy bag. I like to sing karaoke. Twice a week, because that allows me to function at my regular job like a man.
That's your therapy.
You're more like a jazz, like, and then when you have bad days, you're like a screamo type. Whatever you want to do, man.
In fact, the song you're singing might not have any logical connection to your sentiment. It's just you have, and the cool thing is you have something to say. Greg Faulkner's in on this. There's a lot of people where we just sit there, and Greg sings, maybe sings Black and Gold, or he's a throwback. He's like Frank Sinatra dude.
I like that.
He's a Rat Pack guy. So he'll sing a song that, okay, he had a good week. Okay, shit, he had something to get off his chest. So everybody has that, and I think that's good. That's to have something away from the sport of volleyball that you like to do, where you can go back to practice and go to the game and go to these tournaments and hit the reset button. It's extremely healthy. Because, like you said, I just told you the story how about, like, I kept everything inside and then told those guys, like, out and go home. Who does that? What kid from Brooklyn does that overseas on the road against a bunch of hostile Germans? No, you don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're all.
But it was pent up.
Yes,
but it was pent up. It right on the head. That it needs to be something away from that, where you can, talk about that or release that. Surfing or hiking or whatever it is.
And like you said, realizing it's okay, right? It's there. You take it in.
No, it's the biggest thing, because you can't just be like, shouldn't feel this. And I'm guilty of this all the time. Like, be in like text chains of like, hey, what do you need to be like prayed for or something like that. And I have something small and be like, oh, I'm not going to say that. But in the reality, like, that small thing, like, that's for me, like, needs to happen. And so, I go in and talk about that. It's not selfish to talk about it. Like, you could talk for 3 hours and be like, man, I just wasted your time. And no friend's going to be like, yeah, you did. No friend's going to be like, no, thank you. I was able to help you. And
if they are, then maybe they're not your true friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'll be like, I don't want to listen to that guy's crap. Yeah. And you probably don't like that person.
And it sucks. That kind of person sucks.
Don't like that person.
Well, that kind of person sucks, because I think it takes an incredible amount of courage to do it for some personalities who think it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that, because the way they're raised or whatever, that's you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to have that flaw. Yeah. So if you're not supposed to have that flaw, you don't want no one to know about the flaw. Guess what? You ain't talking about it. So so anyone ain't willing to listen, I mean, whatever.
Troy and I talked for like probably 2.5, 3 hours yesterday, just about things that I'm going through. And
God, I must be exhausting you two right now. If you guys
it sucked. Last night was awful. I'll never want to do that again.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, look, you can't ever do this again, and don't open up.
I like how you look right in the camera.
Like don't do it. Sorry, that was loud.
I'll put my hat down for that one.
It's a good thing. Find those friends. I think Chase Frischman has been that friend to me. Yeah, that's another pro.
Cowboy, man.
You think about it, like he asks like just prying questions. He's like, "Hey, you good?" And that like, "Hey, you good?" is
it's different from Chase.
It pierces from your like soul. You're like, "Oh shoot!" I'm gonna tell you about something I struggled with when I was 9 years old. It's like, what the heck? He's got this weird power.
Yeah, Chase
I'm not
is
kidding.
so
Like,
good.
it's crazy, and everybody can say that about Chase. And that's one beautiful thing about this guy. And he's a competitor. If you think about it, he's at this weekend he could be an enemy, but he's not. Like he's just that like good friend, and that's what you need. Like you need those type of people who can,
and he's a real on the court cowboy too. That translates well to his physical play.
Yeah,
he's
just like, hey, I'll ask you how you're doing right before the match, and then we're gonna play this match, and I'll ask you how you're doing after. It's like he's a great athlete, and you need those type of people that 15 seconds that those 15 seconds may be all you have to ask somebody how they're doing, and you want to be able to not just be like, oh, how was your day, and just all this like surface level stuff. It's like, hey, dude, like, how's your mom? I remember you talking about it last week. And it's like, wow, like shoot,
cool. Boy, remembers.
It's a way to he engages just his aura and the way that he really looks at you. Yeah, like he looks at you when you're. He looks at you. That's good. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah. How much did you enjoy Pottstown? And is there a particular player you remember?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what that is, a big ass grass tournament last week of June. We're all a mixture of beach players, mix it up with indoor and college and grass players. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
play with Bill Kolinsky.
Yeah, I played with Bill Kolinsky, Marty Lorenz, my partner now. He had a little back dinger, so we weren't going to play Seattle. Last second, Bill Kolinsky texts me. We book our flights, and I didn't even know where Pottstown was. He's like, "You want to play in the Pottstown Rumble?" I was like, "Uh-huh." Sure. I missed out on 2 AVPs. I'm like, I probably thought it was sand. Yeah, I had no clue. He's like, but he did. He told me, he was like, it's going to be a very gruesome doubles, big court, grass tournament. We're going to have to scrap. Yes, and side out. We are going to have to scrap, and this is why I'm calling you, because you're the man for the job. And I was like, so we barely make our flight, which was ridiculous. I think I have plenty of time. It's completely backed up. Okay. I'm running to the gate. I make it with 12 minutes left. Bill calls me, and he's still in the car.
No.
And they even closed the gates, and I'm begging the stewardess just to wait. Oh, wait 5 minutes. Wait 3 minutes. Wait 2 minutes. And they were going to take off.
Something. He didn't. It was a girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they weren't. That plane wasn't taking off. Oh, go ahead.
And I literally open up. Bill calls me, and they had shut the gate. Bill calls me. I'm here. And I literally run as I'm about kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out on the plane. Yeah. And I run up and open the door. They're like, who opened the door? And Bill was like, he did it.
Oh.
And some random guy. And then he goes, and I don't know how, but he got through security with a large 50-pound bag that he didn't check. He just hands the stewardess the bag, tosses it to her. She's like, ugh, fumbles it, and he jumps in the plane. Doesn't even know. It's hilarious.
So all you terrorists out there, you're doing it wrong. That's how you hijack a plane.
That's how you do it.
Bobby, are you listening?
And no, so it was just funny. We barely get there. The first day, we freaking grind, and I think we play 5 or 6 games of side out the first day. Get a little sleep. I'm bunking with Bill, cuddling up. Wake up, and
a roomy twin.
Oh, very roomy.
Yeah.
Not roomy at all. And
it's one of the guys you kick in your sleep. Right. Sleep before you leave the house. That's for snoring, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
Kick him while he's sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
And no, we battled all the way to the finals, and our quarters, semis, and finals was an absolute blast. But the play that I remember was the slip to pokey set to Bill put away. And
yes, he slipped, landed on his ass or his back, and the ball's coming whether you like it or whether you slip or not. The ball doesn't care, right?
Everyone was just so nuts after that play had happened, and the build up from that play.
Yeah,
there was just so many good plays before. It was I think that was to go up. It's 14 all.
You got a lot of fans from that.
But yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah. You get a lot of fans from that. You get a lot of fans from other stuff you do outside of the AVP too. Did you ever play Wapaka or certain other tournaments?
No. Tim said he wanted to play Wapaka with his brother. Yeah. He's like, Troy, you suck. I don't want to play with you. No.
Did they play grass threes or doubles?
They played both. They played both tournaments. They lost to Bill and Miles in the finals of the twos, the sand twos, and then they lost in the semifinals of But yeah, I was asked to go play Wapaka,
Yeah.
but we had to defend our
I trained
title of
I trained the team
Smackfest
that made finals last year.
back-to-back champs.
Oh, nice. Yes. Smackfest champions. I didn't mention.
I almost wore my crop top that I wore. I would have been.
Oh, is this the Pokey set? Do you have it? Did you get it up
Is
already?
it the one you posted?
Yeah. This
What
is,
is
this
on-
is the one.
Yeah.
Can you
I'll
guys
play
help
it.
me understand this question? Oh, there it is.
Here's
wait.
here's pot sound.
Let's see.
Is that the
See
poke?
if it works.
Yep.
Call angles.
Man, that guy's tall.
They were both big boys.
Who's that big guy? Oh, slip, Pokey. Slide.
That's hilarious. There it is. Wouldn't it be cool if they were like match point? Right? Wouldn't it be cool if they were like match point, Troy?
That'd be pretty
He
sick.
goes, Kalinsky, how you Binsky?
That was really
That
fun.
was
Shout out to Bounce
awesome.
Beach.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, help me understand this question. What song's getting played the most via ears right now? I don't know what that means. What is it?
Like on the radio.
Where are they playing the most?
3,000.
What are your tunes?
You do.
I'm getting there. Getting there. Thank you. Appreciate that.
What song being played?
I don't even. I don't listen to.
If you're
Besides
watching
radio.
Tim and myself, you better be playing AC/DC TNT. That's the
Oh,
team song.
TNT. Oh my
Yeah.
God. You get
So,
a whole bunch of girls that rock out. It's all like hair rock out from that.
Man,
What?
yeah, DJ
Yeah.
O'Shea played that
Yeah.
after we won the first set in Seattle. And I was
Cool.
just vibing.
And that kind of goes with your '80s vibe. You know?
Here's a Jason question. Walkout music. If volleyball could do walkout music, would you do TNT?
If I'm playing with Tim, I would say yes. I would do TNT for sure, 100%. You have to,
Yeah.
right? That's our nickname. But if I was just for me, it would be Seven Nation Army White Stripes, 100%.
All right.
That is like the best.
Something very, very '80s. Like, you know that song? Turn up the radio.
Yes.
I need some music. Give me some.
Even-
like
look,
something
even-
like that.
All you got to do is
Something
play Grand Theft
super
Auto
gnarly.
Vice City. You know that song, right?
Yeah.
It'd be the '80s. Mine would be
Or the final countdown or something like just very.
Totally.
for me. It has to be anything that I don't know, like Banks Victory, like that's Mason, like Big B.I.G.
Mhm.
or Shook Ones by Mobb Deep. Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't
Have you
know.
ever seen 8 Mile? Like
Yeah.
the intro to 8 Mile, or at the end when he's like everybody from the 313, put your
Yeah.
the instrumental, the
Okay.
music. That's
Okay.
that originates from a song Mobb Deep called Shook Ones.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got
All
you.
right. I'm down for that.
Yeah. But Banks Victory, I like the lyrics. It's like the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together.
That's
Better
pretty
now than never. Business before pleasure. P. Diddy
Ooh.
and the fam who you know do it better. So
Oh, I like
those,
that.
those
I
are
don't
those
have
are
that
yeah.
voice to do it,
Huh?
but I don't have that like
Yeah.
me shine together. I don't have that.
And yeah, I'll probably lip sync the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go on my Facebook post, I got my car back finally, whatever. And there's a song called Loyal. So next time you see it on Facebook or even Instagram, I sing a bar from that because I'm just so happy to have it back. I'm just like this. I'm lip singing that. So, yo, that's all I got, man. And I got 3 new comments. I got 3 new
Yeah, there
comments.
it is.
Heyo.
The Smack
New
Fest?
Top Gun movie, yes or no?
No.
Oh, new Top Gun. Top Gun
Yeah.
is my favorite movie of all time. So,
Oh shit, we just lost it. We just lost our feed.